Dricus Du Plessis. Is he the perfect fight for Israel Adesanya? I got to tell you, I mean, you have to start somewhere, right? You can't get a world title fight if you don't have a mandate of the masses. It is the most powerful, important thing that you can have in this sport. I'll start it. I'm in. Yes. Du Plessis should be next. Du Plessis should get the title fight. Now, let's look at this from three perspectives. And there are only three, right? There's the UFC's perspective, which is you want the top guy. You want to show an integrity to the rankings. You want to give it to a guy who has said yes and done the heavy lifting and has cooperated more than just what the audience has seen. He's also behind the scenes. Now, when I look at Du Plessis was an undercard just a couple of fights ago. I mean, this goes back, and this is off the top of my head. This goes back to December of last year. I believe it was December 10th, and it involved Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel was on the card, going to be making his debut, and he was on the main card. And Du Plessis was on the card as well, and was not on the main card, and he was not happy about that. And he made it known. And I respected the hell out of it. I really did. He made it known that he wasn't happy. Then, leading into his fight, which was an undercard fight, it ended up getting moved up. Bo left, and Du Plessis got moved up. And again, this is on top of my head. Don't think you need to be a Poindexter here and correct me. I got a hold of the right tool, even if it's by the wrong end, and I just remember these things. He promoted the hell out of it, and I'm talking about Du Plessis. He stayed on Twitter even when he was an undercard. Now, he ended up getting moved up, but even when he was an undercard, he promoted the hell out of it on Twitter. The best that he could do. He didn't qualify. Not being on a main card, he did not qualify for built-in mechanisms within the company, UFC. Main card has mechanisms that ignite with the PR and the marketing team. If you're on the main card, they have moreover mechanisms if you're a feature bout, which means co-main event and main event. So Du Plessis did not qualify for any of this. He had to do it on his own. And guess what? He did. He did. He did his part. He wanted the world to watch. He wanted the world to know about it. He's the one that let the world know that it's not right that Nickel's going up here when I'm down here and we're in the same weight, particularly when I was never given the opportunity to fight him. You're putting him later on the card means you think he's bigger and better than me. Give me an opportunity to show you you've got it wrong. I respected that, and I appreciated the hell out of it. All right, let's fast forward the tape a little bit. You got Du Plessis versus Till. Now, I did not think that fight was going to happen. For a number of reasons, I didn't think that fight was going to happen. That fight ended up happening, and we saw that fight perhaps shouldn't have happened. Right? We had Darren Till out there on one leg. He's got a torn ACL. Now, and I had that information. I kept it from you. I just told you that I didn't think that fight was going to happen. Du Plessis looked very good doing that, though. And it wasn't just that it was a fight of the night. Du Plessis got tired. He got tired beating on Till. Till was so tough. Till was still standing there. But it was a rope-a-dope situation where the momentum did swing, and it was swinging towards Till. And he found a way. He found a way. He got our respect. That draws him into, and possibly lesson learned. Even though he got the outcome he desired, there was still a lesson that Du Plessis learned in that fight about energy and about the fact that if you go for the finish and you don't get it, you're not going to win a decision, right? It's a very slippery slope, but he learned that lesson. He made it through, and it gets into Derek Brunson. Now, nobody in this sport has ever done a favor for Derek Brunson. It bothers me. That I could make you a whole segment on that. Nobody has ever helped that guy. But that doesn't mean he wasn't a top contender. That doesn't mean he wasn't the best guy in the world. It doesn't mean he couldn't beat everybody in the field on a lot of given nights. Derek Brunson is a perennial #1 contender. Can we admit to that? Can we admit we could have put him in? We even gave him the fight against Cannonier that if he won, we were told he would then get to go back into a rematch with Izzy. I mean, can we admit how good Brunson is? At least he's beat him. We got to give him credit for that. So now he's beaten Till, who got to fight for a world championship, and now he's beaten Brunson, who should have fought for a world championship. Fought the world champion. Talking about Brunson. He fought the world champion. He fought Izzy. Izzy just didn't have the belt at the time. So let's give Du Plessis a little bit of credit. Then guess what happened? The rankings committee took this guy that people weren't familiar with and didn't know his name, put him #6 in the world. put him number 6 in the world. And then guess what happened? He got called out by Israel Adesanya. So now I have just talked about the promotion's perspective, the way the promotion is going to look at it. You look at Du Plessis himself, of course he wants it. Of course. And I don't feel like he's ever disrespected and put down Adesanya. Adesanya would disagree with me. I don't feel that he did. I think that everything Du Plessis did was within his wheelhouse. I also think Du Plessis believed in Israel Adesanya, right? Izzy doesn't like it today, but if you go back a week and look at what Du Plessis was saying, an interpretation of what he was saying was also that he believed Izzy was going to win. He thought Izzy was the guy and Izzy was going to beat Alex. So there's a compliment in there somewhere. You got to search for it, but there's a compliment in there somewhere. But Du Plessis has made his stance very clear. And then you've got to go to the other party, which is Izzy. Izzy has only asked us for one thing, guys. And he's not demanded of us. Izzy has not demanded or given us, the community, an ultimatum. He's asked us. He's asked us to please get him some parity. He's tired of the same guy over and over. He's lapped the division. He's gone through some of them twice. He's getting ready to go through them 3 times. I mean, it's one of these spots where he's just, can I have somebody new? And if you do it in that order, you got to dumb yourself back. You want to know the first person to bring this up? Du Plessis is number 6, but all the other ones have already had an opportunity. You've got to take that into consideration. You want to know the first one to bring this up is Wonderboy Thompson. It was the night that Kamaru Usman defended his championship against Gilbert Burns. And Wonderboy sent out a tweet. And Wonderboy said, I am the only guy in the top 5 who has not yet had the opportunity. So I guess I'm next. See you soon. Good job tonight, champ. Now, at the time that he did it, I, of course, teased him a little bit. That was just too nice. Wonderboy is just such a nice guy, and you could feel the niceness in it, but that's not really how you do call out. So, of course, I teased him at the time. But I remember it. I remember it all these years, because Wonderboy makes a fair point. He makes a fair point. And he was ranked 5 himself. He was ranked 5. But 4, 3, 2, and 1 had all been in there. So he's saying it must fall to me. That's not a bad argument. And essentially, we're going to have to take that same theory and apply it here. Top 5 guy, anywhere in the top 5 can go fight number 1 on any given night. We more traditionally will fall to 3, 2, or 1 is the guy that's going to go in there, but you can go to 5 on any given night. 6, we're pushing just a little bit. But not if you consider the argument, particularly not if you consider that Du Plessis did beat a number 1 contender until he did beat a perennial number 1 contender in Brunson. You get something for that. You've got a tie-in right now that's making everybody a little bit nervous, and that is the African tie-in, right? Like, these two guys are fighting over territory and geography right now, and I can see, and so can you, how we're going to have to let them do that. If other people start weighing in on, you see where you already get a little bit uncomfortable, but I think it's a great storyline. I already think it is. That's real. I understand how that works. Believe me, I feel that. I feel that myself. The clubs or teams that I've been on, my school, my city of Westland, I mean, I got to tell you, I feel that. And I think a lot of you guys do too, and these guys seem that they have a beef, and there's one way to settle it. And they want to argue about geography, and they argue who's where and who sleeps where, and they want to do all these things. Well, where does the belt reside? That's how we're going to figure this thing out. Right now, the belt is in New Zealand. That's true. You want to change that? You want to do it in the octagon? You got my support.